Hey everyone, welcome to GSR Tier 1 Racing. We are in the round 8 and we are in the qualifying for Hungary Ring, and we already seeing people coming out. I'm here with the co-host Righteous Fire. Welcome to the stream, everyone. So we've been absent for a long while. We also missed streaming of the last race because I was ill, which I still am. So I apologize if you hear a coughing or two. I'll try to mute it to prevent you from hearing that. But if I miss it, I'm sorry about that. So Righteous, what is up?
Well, Hungary seems to be a difficult circuit for a lot of people. We got a few fast drivers, but I think pace is not going to be. We're going to see some runaways here, but I think a lot of other people. There's going to be a lot packed in the middle of the field, and we might see a few battles in the back of the field as well. But I'm interested to see what kind of qualifying laps everyone can put out, because I've been watching people over the week, and it's been pretty good. There's been some competitiveness, and everyone's been improving their time slowly. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
So right now we got looks to be about 6 guys out for their hot laps.
So you were talking about hammer time. You thought it was gonna be really competitive on this track, I think.
Hammer time was setting in practice sub 18 times on medium tires, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go out for qualifying on the medium to shoot for the one stop, because softs are really difficult around here to keep the temperature out, especially at the beginning of the race. They don't last very long. Especially if you're battling maybe 6 or 7 laps. You can push them to 9 if you're a really experienced driver and can really keep the tires cool. But we're going to see the guys that are most competitive are going to be going from the medium to the hard today.
All right. So Hammer Time is about to start his hot lap. We're going to go on board with him. Then trying to get the Formula Halo whatever thing to work right now. So bear with me, you might see the pause. Oh, there's a huge lockup on turn 1. I don't think that's going to be a very competitive lap from him.
Well, if he's smart, he'll just go out and try and get a good banker in and see where he's at, especially with a low fuel, high power run.
It looks like he's staying on the ERS5 though, so maybe he's going to try to just get a time in to make sure that in case something goes wrong, you still want to get a time in early. So he still has plenty of occasions to fix his mistake in a new lap. There's a lot of lockups though. I think his brake pressure might be a little bit too high here.
Just came through the chicane over the bumps. Going to lose a little bit of time there. He really needs to try to push those track limits because he can find a little bit more time, but he definitely has a lot of time left in the session to see what kind of laps he can get out here. As he comes through to the final corners.
Oh, he abandoned the lap.
Yep, must have invalidated on the last corner. Or he just wasn't happy with it. Van Beets with a 119.8 on hards. That's an interesting qualifying. I don't know if he's trying to do a reverse strategy, go hard to medium. And the hammer is
122.5 on the softs for Mr. Jesus. That's very far away. You're gonna have to do much better.
That's an average race pace time you're gonna see from some of the top drivers.
There you go. We're starting to see the real times now. Figlin with a 17.3
on soft, so he's gonna have to do a 2-stop.
Yeah.
You can do a soft medium around here, but I think the better option would be a soft medium soft if you're going to do that. Now you can go soft hard, but those hards are really going to fall off towards the end, and you're not going to have a lot of pace out front. They really hold their own in the middle of their wear. Well, hammer time is all over the place.
All right.
16.7 from Gore.
Yeah, Gore is very consistent. Always gets in the good laps and always starts towards the front of the grid. All right, we're on board with Kia right now, who's going through Van Beets, which is really weird. Anyway, so Kia is about to start a hot lap and we're on board.
Coming down to turn 1. You gonna make it over there? Oh, you're pretty loud, so I don't know if you can Sorry, so it's still loud in my headphones though.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, he is up through a tricky turn. A lot of people spin out there, staying far away from the inside curb. He's coming up through the chicane. Let's see if he stays away from these bumps.
I was very tight.
Pretty cleanly.
Misses the
I'd like to
apex
see
here.
a downshift coming through here to really get rotation around these corners, but he does use more of the track on the exit.
Oh, there's a person in front. Let's see if Pfeiffer's gonna really good about getting out of the way. Good job, Pfeiffer. Last turn. Oh, really kissing, almost getting on the edge there. Let's see if this is a pretty technical track. You have a lot of long corners that are really hard. Let's see what it's gonna be.
17.8.
17.8.
It's a respectable lap. Now I've just been informed by someone on the forecast for the race. It does look like rain for the entire race. Heavy rain at the beginning and light rain at the end.
Let's see who's gonna take that into account.
These guys haven't checked the forecast yet. They're really going to want to start setting their laps on these soft tires because everyone's going to be on a one stop at least on intermediates. Unless it's too wet, then obviously we're going to go full wets to the intermediates.
Yeah. So intermediates really are more like mediums, between mediums and hards in terms of durability. So you can definitely do a one stop on those. Alright, so let's see who we should follow. There's a couple people. Let's see for Niall. It's always... We're gonna go on board with Niall and see what he can do here. Hasn't set a time yet. He is in hot lap, so that means he is coming to the end here.
He's taking a wide turn here to get more on the exit. On the straight, looks like it's going to be a pretty high lap, but 119 flat.
Oh, it wasn't validated. It didn't count, unfortunately for him, so that means he's going to have to try again.
Well, at least he has a banker to see what kind of delta for his next lap.
Yeah, so 119 means he would have been in Van Beets and Borat, who have probably set not that good of laps because for what we know they're capable of, but that means Niall would have beaten them.
He'd be sitting about a P10 as of right now. Got a lot of guys in the pits currently.
Yeah. So Kriegs looks like he just invalidated a lap. He's on the RS5, but he went really cutting that corner. Let's go on Borat. Borat is at a 0 ERS, so probably he invalidated here and he's going to be trying for another lap. Yeah, there you go. Borat's going to try another lap. ERS full, probably fuel mapping at 4. Let's go. Starts the lap. Oh, there's a lot of traffic in front. That's going to be very hard for him if they don't get out of the way.
Easy through turn 1. Don't want to... You can really spin out here.
Babushka doing really well at letting him pass. Trail braking corner of the track. Yellow flag in front, so that means someone's going slow. Doing pretty good here. If you hit that curb, it really unsettles the car, so you want to stay away from it. But this one, you can take a lot of curb here. Go in, another trail braking, right-hander this time. Captain is way out in the grass. Does the chicane really well, really kissing those high curbs. You don't want to touch them, but you want to be as close as possible. Oh, a little bit of oversteer here. But it's still good. He didn't... Oh, his rear tires are going to be really hot here. And that's done for him. He's going to have to go back into the pit. And he's stuck with a 119.8, which is really far from what we know Borat can do. It's unfortunate. Oh, Niall was able to set a 118.1. So there you go. Beating a couple of people, some of them that we expect, so Niall's on par here. Let's see.
After Let's ride on board with Hammer Time right now. He's coming towards the end of his out lap, so he should be going on another hot lap, hopefully to
All right.
try and set the fastest lap here.
We do have Kia, who is currently on a hot lap, and he's gonna finish first. So let's follow Kia first, and when Kia is done, we'll go to Hammer Time.
And you really got to watch the inside curves on that turn because they will unsettle the car and it will ruin.
Going really wide on the chicane here.
And he abandons his lap.
Still on the RS5, definitely got invalidated, but probably he's going to go back into the pit. So let's go to Hammer Time now. ERS mode 3, that's an interesting one. He's trying to use the ERS mode 3 because it has more power at the lower gears. So he's really playing with that ERS mode to get the maximum out of the car.
Well, if you keep it in 5 or 4 around here, you can really, you will use up all of your bank for the lap. So you want to lower it through that middle section.
Yeah, so ERS 3 has the most power in the early gears. ERS 5 will have the middle gears. ERS 4 will have gear 4, 7 and 8 where it has the most powers. So if you really want to optimize your times, that's what you gotta do. And let's see here what it's gonna be. 15, 16, 16, 5. That's very close to the first time. He gets a second position. W. Gore keeps the first. Very good time from Hammer Time, like he said. We expected that, and he delivers. Oh, and there you go. Taco is just set it with 16-2, so he's got the pole position here, sending Hammer Time on the second row. Alright, These Grills is about to start a hot lap. No, is on a hot lap, actually. Probably invalidated because he was out of the track right now. Alright. Van Beats would be on a hot lap. Yep, let's go on Van Beats.
So far, our captain is the only one to not set an actual lap so far. But everybody's times have improved as they've been setting them. Some by a few seconds, some by 1.
Yeah, I have a problem with my stream. I'm not able to bring out the Halo HUD, so we're gonna have to stick with the in-game telemetry for now. Sorry about that.
Modern technology, sometimes you have technical difficulties.
Yep.
Van Beats is coming through the penultimate corners.
Yeah, still on a good lap.
He's going to be a little behind. You really want to be coming up into here in the low ones.
Oh.
So it'd be hard to improve on his time, but
oh,
he improves by over a second and a half.
It's really good. It's 118. 118 flat. Beats Nile by 1.5 tenths. Alright, so let's see. I think Kia, yep, Kia is on a hot lap, so we're gonna follow him around. There's a lot of improvement to be gained here from him, so we could see him getting on the front row. It's very possible. The sound of the Red Bull is really deceiving because it feels like it's not revving that high, right?
That Honda engine's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Which I like. Like, a lot of people like the really loud engine, high revving and ear-piercing sounds, but I like the quiet ones. I feel like it's more chill, you know? Oh, Mr. Jesus getting way out of the way. Good thing.
Yeah, there's something to be said about a more refined sound versus just an absolute scream. Like, the Ferraris are just really shrill and loud, and people love the sound, and that's fine, but, you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
He is coming through, and it looks like a 117.
Improves by 8 tenths. So it was an improvement, almost 1 second, so that's pretty good. But I mean, right now, between him and first pole position, there's only 8 tenths difference. So it's not that big. It's not small, but it's not that big. So I'd say it's pretty good. But you know, the tier 1 is pretty competitive, especially with some of those reserves that are driving, like Gore and Hammer Time. So it's like if he didn't have those two, he would be in 5th position right now, which is not really, it's good, right?
And it's very good that we have a lot of competitiveness now, and we're going to be restructuring the grids for next season. So we should hopefully see a lot more battling happening throughout the races.
Yep.
Because right now it does seem like it's limited for each tier to about 5 or 6 on the regular. So it should be more exciting next year, and I'm definitely excited to be a part of that. It'll really help to push people, because when you give them something to shoot for, they tend to perform better than if they're just kind of coasting along.
Yeah, for sure. So we're following W Gore right now. He's just started a hot lap, and you can see he's in ERS 4 to try to get the maximum out of 7th and 9th gear. Goes in 3 for those low gears. Looks like he's going between 3 and 4 here, so not exactly getting the most out of the car. But still, a strategy that looks like it works if he got a 16.2, so...
He is carrying a lot of speed, and you can tell he's really pushing it because he's starting to get loose in some of these corners. But he's holding it together, using all the track.
Yeah, that was really close to an invalidate here. You can see a little bit of oversteer on the braking.
A little lockup that stays tight.
Oof, oversteer acceleration. Let's see. It weren't big fuck-ups, but it's good enough. I think he's going to be able to... Let's see. It does improve just enough by 7 milliseconds, beats Taco and gets the pole position. That's incredible.
That's amazing. There we go, and we have the top 5 are separated by about 6 tenths here.
Alright, so now 4 seconds until it's done. Everyone who's in a lap right now is going to be their last. So let's see what the best time has been done. Everyone is on the softs for their best time except for Black Fox, who is on mediums.
The man Gore just knocked down. Tact XO is out on another hot lap.
Oh, really?
Try and improve his time.
Alright.
Let's see if he can take it back.
Yeah. Really kissing those high curves. Really good here. Really good apexes.
Stays nice and tidy through the last 2 corners.
That was tight.
Using all the inside curb there.
Really early on the acceleration. Really good control. You can see the accelerator going really smoothly.
This is going to be very close. See if he can get on the throttle enough and keep it together.
Oh, it goes wide here. Does it invalidate? It wouldn't have been a beat of the time though. 1 tenths too much. So he's not able to get the pole position back. But he's still starting on the front line, so it shouldn't be too disappointed in his result.
Was a strong effort, and Dees is the only driver left.
Alright, we're on board with Dees. He's finishing the lap. It's going to be 153 now, so there really something went wrong here. So it wasn't a hot lap. So we got it. First position is Gore, second is Taco on the front row. It's going to be really interesting to see what goes on now in the rain. Who saw the rain coming? Who looked at the forecast?
Like I said, top 5, 6 tenths, and then the next are separated. The next 5 are separated by about another 6 to 7 tenths there. So again, we're going to have a lot of tight competition up front, in the middle, and in the back. So hopefully we should see a lot of battling. But with the rain, it's anyone's guess, especially if they were not prepared.
Yeah.
And didn't alter their setup slightly to account for that. So
yeah, I can't wait to see how it's going to go.
It's forecast for Ooh, excuse me. Heavy rain right at the beginning, and it's, going to light rain towards the end of the race.
All right. People are loading in. There's the rain. Oof. You see all those front wings are ready to be replaced in the pit lane. I think we're going to be seeing a couple of those.
Obviously, there's not too much to hit around the track, but again, with the tight corners and the technical second sector, it will be difficult for some to maintain speed. So I think that we're probably gonna see a lot of rear ends around here.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. I think we're gonna see like a lot of midfielders just hit the people in the back, like maybe misjudging their entry. But we have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's a long hold.
Oh,
and the race is on. We have that's Kia who did it.
That's one of the Toro Rossos jumped.
Oh, that's Borat then. Borat or Figlin?
I think it was Borat.
It's hard to know. Let's
go down to turn 1. Gorse on the front, Hammer on the inside. They give each other plenty of space.
All right, we have a couple people going wide, but it doesn't look like anyone has lost his front wing yet.
Not too much chaos so far, but we're seeing a lot of jockeying for positions here.
Hammer Time is back on the 3rd position. He was able... Oh, but Babushka made a lot of positions right now. He's in 2nd. So let's see. Position changes. Yeah, he went from 4th to 2nd. It was a really good start for Babushka. Was able to gain a lot through this.
It's all right.
All right. All right. So let's see here. These grills has a lot of bad luck here. What happened to him? Looks like he's down into 16th here. We have a couple of people changing position. Pfeiffer also had a lot of trouble. He's now Diesgrill was able to overtake him. Oh, and we just had an overtake. Hammer Time went way wide on that corner, and Babushka was able to gain the position back that he had gained at the beginning. But they are still fighting. Hammer Time is on the inside. Oh, but now he's just behind, and Babushka is able to keep the position. But it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in that corner. Hammer Time got a better exit. He's going for the outside line. Passes Babushka in before the corner. Babushka breaks way early. Makes sure that it doesn't want to hit Hammer Time here. And Hammer Time is able to get the position. He's back into the 2nd position.
Of course, definitely pulled away. He's got over a 2.5 second lead on the next car. So as long as he can stay safe, he's got clean air in front of him. And fortunate for him, he's not going to have a lot of spray. We're getting reports of a lot of drivers having tons of spray.
Oh yeah.
Because the rain's so heavy, it's very difficult for them to see, which is to be expected here. So.
Everyone is on the blue tires, so it's gonna be everyone is gonna struggle, and it's gonna be like who can adapt to the situation the fastest. A lot of people do not practice at all in the rain for the laps, so it's really interesting to see who is able to get it done. But you see now the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position, the gap is building, and it looks like we're not gonna be seeing more action in the next few laps. So it's gonna be really.
We do have a few drivers that are sticking close. 6 through 10.
Yep, that's a really close race indeed. I'm on board with Figlin, who's really close to Zenatius. Zenatius gets a little bit of oversteer, doesn't even come close to the apex here.
We got a yellow flag in Sector 2.
Yeah.
It looks like Van Beets has lost his right end plate,
which is very minor damage, so it's not going to be affecting him a lot, especially in the rain.
Well, like he is going to struggle. He is going to struggle with his left-hand turns because of that, so he's not going to have as much grip going through those turns. But as long as he can take those slow and step it up, I mean, it's a difficult call at this point because we're only 3 laps into the race.
Oh, Borat is on the inside of Kia and almost sends Kia flying, but Kia is able to keep the position, able to keep the car straight. Like there was a little bit of contact and Kia almost went sideways. but really good skills on his part, and he stays ahead of Borat. Borat just got overtaken actually, so yeah. Alright. Oh, Zanacius cuts the chicane here. He gains a position out of it too. He's probably gonna get a penalty here. Alright, unless he gained a position before, but no, what's happening? Everyone's going so slow, and Zanacius actually has to brake.
Safety car.
Oh, there's a safety car. Where does it... Oh, I missed that. I'm so sorry. That's what's happening. Ooh, that's interesting. So why did the safety car go out? Is it safety car because of the weather?
Well, the way the game's coded is the safety car will come out if there are enough cars within a certain distance of each other that have slowed down to a certain amount. Now, I don't know what that certain amount is, but you can actually manually trigger the safety car if you're playing here.
Oh, I see.
We did it around Coda. We all stopped on the straight, and it called the safety car out. Now, I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, GSR captain getting a penalty for speeding under safety car.
Not seeing anything that would...
Borat goes in the pit.
really tell me what's happening here.
Did he get a wing change?
I'm going to go check in with someone else, and I'll be right back to tell you what's happening.
Alright, thank you. So I don't know why Borat pitted here. We don't know if he had the wing damage or not, but now he's 5 positions down on his starting grid position. So let's see where the safety car is. There it is. So Gore was able to build a big gap here, and the safety car just brought it all back. Hammer Time is now half a second behind him when he was like 3 or 4 seconds lead before that. So that's gonna give that might give him a little bit of trouble when the safety car comes back in.
So just checked in with some of the teams, and we're not hearing anything in particular about why the safety car was called out. There was some incidents with involving Figlin and Zanacius,
Yeah.
but none of them received significant enough damage.
Figlin did get a 5-second penalty for severe collisions, though, I think.
And Figlin has lost his right end plate, so again, maybe if the cars were slowed down just enough, it would have called the safety car out. But this is going to be interesting because now that multi-second lead that Gore had is reduced back down.
Yep.
And if I were some of these guys with wing damage right now, I would use this opportunity to get my wing fixed.
So that's what I think happened with Borat, because he went into the pits and changed to a new set of wets. So
it's a smart move. Because the safety car is going to bunch everyone up, and it's going to wait until you rejoin the queue.
But he lost like 8 positions doing that.
Yeah, but if he's faster than everyone in front of him, he's got 30 laps to make it up.
Yeah, but the full wets and the intermediates, they last a very long time, longer than the mediums usually. So it's hard to tell whether it's going to give him an advantage or not. Especially it's just 4 laps old wets, full wets, so it's not like they are really that wear.
Well, it's not so much about tire wear as it is about the wing damage, because especially with these slower overall speeds and needing as much grip as possible, especially through some of these half circular corners, and we got 3 of them here, and you're gonna need all the grip you can get.
Yeah. So I don't think we're getting the message to know when the safety car is going to come in.
Well, they have to wait for everyone to rejoin the queue within a certain distance.
Yeah. Whoa, another severe penalty. 5-second penalty for Radical Hardware, and these grills also gets one. What was that? Radical 5 for... Oh, yeah. So Borat looks like he reacted in time, but these grills didn't, and there was a big collision.
Everyone hitting each other on a... Borat gets another 5-second penalty.
What's happening there?
The problem is these guys are trying to drive too fast. They're trying to make sure that they stay
again!
as much up as possible. So many people are losing end plates now.
Oh, wow. Radical hits rear ends Pfeiffer again. I think Pfeiffer is the only one in that group who hasn't hit anyone.
This is ridiculous. It looks like we have Krieg's lost an end plate.
Oh, Borat ignored drive-through penalty and got it disqualified from the race. Oh no.
That is unfortunate for him because he is a quick driver.
I'm on board with Gore, and it looks like Hammer Time is gaining on him. We have a really nice aerial view here, and you can clearly see Hammer Time is gaining and gaining. But Gore gets a little bit better exit here. Is going to see the chicane. Oh yeah, Hammer Time is really bringing down the hammer.
It looks like he's just biding his time right now, taking it easy and just waiting for his opportunity because he's in no rush. He's within half a second. He's going to get slipstream down the straights, and if I were him, I would just wait for any opportunities to present themselves. Because again, we got 20 and a half laps left in this race. There's no sense in trying to push it too hard, especially in these wet conditions. But they have both left the rest of the field back. We have a 3 seconds back to Babushka.
Yeah. Oh, Zanesius and Kia, there's a battle here going on. Oh, there's a little bit collision between Figlin and Zanesius on the side, but it looks like there's no damage. W. Gore sets a new fastest lap. We're gonna go on board with Zanesius. It's probably gonna catch up back to Kia again because they were really close and wheel to wheel in those corners. Just missed it by a little bit. Kia goes really wide, Zanesius goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, if I were Kia, I'd be thinking the same thing. I would just take it easy. You might want to get on the brakes a little bit late to avoid any potential collisions, because if someone rear ends you coming through that corner, it's going to upset you and it's going to cause you to spin out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So as long as he can just drive safe, I think he has a bit of pace on Zen, and I think he can definitely pull away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of oversteer on their acceleration here. Zanesius is really trying hard, but loses time here. But Kia actually is gaining on Niall, and Niall really good position now, 5. A little bit far from Taco, but still in a good position. But Kia is under attack, 3/10 difference between them right now. Let's see, they're almost wheel to wheel, but Kia backs down and just gonna wait for a better opportunity.
Yep, and Zen is he is losing control behind Kia a little bit.
Yeah.
So he has dropped back, and Kia is...
There you go. This is a good overtaking opportunity here. If he gets a better exit, he can go on the inside. Oh, there you go. Niall goes a little bit wide. Kia tries to capitalize, but there's not enough traction, and that's going to be... he's going to have to wait another lap for that.
He is gaining on him. He's in a slipstream. See if he goes for a move.
Oh, there you go.
He takes a look.
Oh, so
thinks
close.
Better of it and backs out.
Zanesius left the session. He went in the pits and he left. The computer sent him on the intermediates, and it looks like he's going to get back out. Still following Kia on board.
Well, it does look like the rain has let up, and definitely during this period of the race, the driving line is going to be a bit drier. So intermediates may be a good call for now to gain a little extra speed, because
there's still a lot of rain though, so I don't know.
But you can see there's not a lot of standing water left on the driving line. The intermediates are going to be a faster tire.
That's
but we'll see if he can keep the heat out of them. Need to see.
Oh, there's a little bit of rear end collision between Kia and Niall is not able to get the exit for that, but Kia does not try to go for that gap that he created by his mistake. He's gonna have to try again. Let's see if he tries for the inside again this time. but there it looks like you really need to stay on the wet, on the dry line here. Well, as dry as it is. Yeah, there you go, better exit.
Definitely has the run on him.
There you go, that's gonna be it. ERS4, he's an overtake and just gets the run. Now he's gonna see who braced the latest. It looks like Niall is better on the brace, but he's gonna have to go wide because they're side by side. Kia has the inside line here. Let's see if he gets it. And yeah, slightly better exit for Kia, and now Kia is in front. Now it's gonna be inside line for Niall. Kia, is it gonna respect? Yeah, he does respect, but Niall got a little bit scared and just made sure that he wasn't on the inside. And there you go, that's the job done. Kia is now in 4th position. Very well played. That was intense.
It was very well battled. The two of them did a good job giving each other room, but not purposefully giving up the position.
Yep. So here we have an interesting situation. We have these grills on the intermediate and Pfeiffer on the full wets. So we're going to be able to see what kind of difference it makes. It looks like Pfeiffer is losing some time to the... Yeah, these grills is definitely faster than Pfeiffer here. So it may look like you're right and the intermediates are the better option now that the dry line exists. Well, the drier line exists.
We're going to take a look at lap times here, now that we have some intermediate changes. Gore and Hammer are still in the 135s on the full wets. Tact had just pitted in for intermediates as well.
Where do I see the lap times? Can only see fastest lap. Yeah, we can't see current lap times.
No, not current, just fastest.
Yeah. Alright, let's put it to fastest lap then.
Oh,
Alright, so Babushka on intermediates for 2 laps and now has the fastest lap time. That's gonna cement it that the intermediates right now are faster than the full widths. With Black Fox just coming out of the pits, probably getting a wing change here. Pfeiffer's getting passed left and right. He's just changed to for the full wet, so that means if he pits again, he's gonna be losing a lot of time. And there you go. I think he's gonna get. There's Captain who's looking at the Pfeiffer like fresh meat. Very close. Pfeiffer. You can see Pfeiffer has much less grip in those corners here. So that's gonna be an overtake from Captain. There you go. Gets to the exit. Even in the wet line, is able to overtake pretty easily. So yeah, everyone's got to change to the intermediates like real soon.
This is just a bad strategy call from Pfeiffer. Don't know if he didn't have the right tires selected or if he did it on purpose, but we have the leaders are now pitting in.
Yep. So Gore is now on the intermediate as his hammer time, and it looks like Kia is also changing for the intermediates. There you go.
Looks like Gore gained a little bit of time out of the pits on Hammer. He's now 2 seconds ahead.
That's interesting. So I think in multiplayer the pit times are the same no matter what, and it's how fast you react to it that's important. And we have
got to come down. It's got to come down to your pit entry.
Oh right, yeah.
Gore did a very good job of getting in and out as quick and clean as possible.
Yep. Very good here. Oh, I love this camera shot. So right now I'm having the helicopter view on Gore. Really amazing. You can really see the dryer line in this view. So this is the moment where you'd really want to stay on there, because as soon as you get off, you're gonna have some standing water and you're gonna lose a lot of time, a lot of grip. Let's see if he sets a faster lap.
Gore does. He has just started his first full lap.
Yeah, so this is an out lap, so it's not gonna be yet. But I'm still gonna go on board with Gore and see if he's able to beat the 33.4 from Figlin. Figlin in 9th position, but has the fastest lap right now, so there's a lot of potential here for him to gain positions. Abushka 33-2.
I don't know what's going on with my game. Oh, there it goes. I'm getting different information versus the stream. I had to restart.
Oh, you can see how smooth you have to be on the throttle. Even in 4th gear, you're still not full throttle here. So let's see what's gonna happen. Slow way down here in the rain. Still not full. Even at 75% throttle, you could see that his rear was going left and right. He's being followed really closely by Hammer Time here. You can hear the engine of Hammer Time behind. So far it looks like a really good lap. He's been really tight to hitting those apexes and not going wide and really soft on the throttles. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good lap. Really interested to see if he's going to be able to get it.
And Hammer Time is close, but he's still about a second and a half behind.
And there you go, 31-2, that's amazing. And 31-1, Hammer Time did gain a tiny bit on Gore on this lap, but you can see those intermediates are really doing it for them right now.
Right now down in 9th, we have Figlin about right on the back of Mr. Jesus.
That's going to be an interesting battle here. Alright, let's see. Did he get the run? No, Mr. Jesus gets a better exit on the straight. So Figlin is going to have to work really hard to get that position if he wants it. The points difference is he's just going to gain 2 points from that. But it's basically doubling his points, so it's really... You want to fight for it.
Well, Figlin is setting about 1 to 1.5 second faster laps than Mr. Jesus, so...
Yeah,
if he's got it in him to get the overtake, he's just got to get his opportunity in.
You can see that Figlin is pretty good at sticking to the racing line, but Mr. Jesus is going wide once in a while. So Figlin is a little bit more consistent, and that's probably what's going to win him the position in the end if he can just keep that consistency and hit those apexes and stay on the dry, well, on the drier part. I keep saying it. Yeah, it's still raining, so there's not going to be any dry parts of this circuit. Writer's Fire has left the session. Oh, Figlin goes a little bit wide. So this Mr. Jesus just gains a little bit of breathing space. But you can see going really much tighter on the apex here. And he gains a lot on Mr. Jesus. There you go, they both get about the same exit here. But now you have those really difficult corners. You have to trail brake a lot and you have to go slow for a long time. It takes time before you get on the throttle. So those are hard corners, and you can see Jesus goes a little bit wide. Figlin really kissing the corner here, and there you go. Oh, actually Jesus gets a much bigger exit, and Figlin must be really disappointed here. That was the opportunity he was waiting for, and he just missed the exit.
So apologies, my computer just crashed.
No problem. I had a lot of to say here, so it went unnoticed by the public. But yeah, we still have the interesting battle between Figlin and Jesus, and Figlin is being more consistent, but when it really counts, gets a poor exit and is unable to keep up with Jesus. So Jesus is just making sure, oh, this is coming really close here. We're going to be on board with Jesus. He went within 2/10 of Jesus. Sorry, we're on board with Figlin. Oh, there you go. He's on the inside. Does he get the exit? Oh, so close. Brakes early to not hit him. Oh, Mr. Jesus, a little bit of snap oversteer and braking here. Figlin is decided he's gonna try for the inside. Just has to get a better exit. Figlin is pretty good. Yes, there you go. Figlin gets a better exit. He has a slightly more speed than Mr. Jesus. He's gonna pass him before the end of the straight. And there you go. They're wheel to wheel, and actually Figlin gets the better braking here, and Mr. Jesus even goes wide. Figlin really desperate to keep the position, spins and gets a little bit of oversteer. Mr. Jesus does not want to be on the inside on this corner, and Figlin just like that gets the position. It was a long fight. He had to struggle for several laps, but in the end he managed to get it, and now he's going to get away because he has a slightly better pace than Mr. Jesus.
I am coming back in here.
No problem. Who's that on the side of the road? There's a ghosted person. Hammer Time just set a fastest lap of 30.8. How fast is this? Oh, this is barely 1/10, 1.5 tenths faster than Gore. So they're really battling it out here, and Hammer Time is catching up slightly, 1/10 per lap. So it's gonna take out the whole race, but there's a possibility that Hammer Time could actually get the first position, get pole, and win that trophy. That virtual trophy, but whatever. Trophy nonetheless. So right now, we have Pfeiffer and Van Beets who did 2 pit stops. Let's see position change. Mr. Jesus really doing good. He started, was that 8th position change? So that means he started last and is now in 9th position. Mr. Jesus is in the points. After the other races where he had basically anything but given up and was doing burnouts, he's now actually in the points and doing really good.
Okay. I got the stream pulled up on my tablet right now, so still on board here with Mr. Jesus. It is a very good drive from a lot of guys today. The rain has been quite hectic in the first half of this race today.
I'm back.
Oh, we got a flag in Sector 1.
Sector 1 yellow flag, so I'm really close to this. Let's see if I can find anything.
Already came up, so I don't know if somebody got a little too loose and just went off track for a second.
So there's a blue flag on Kriegs right now. We do have ghosting on the blue flag, but it looks like Taco is trying to respect this. Oh no, but he goes completely through him. Yeah, so the ghosting is a little bit interesting to say the least. I don't know what I think ghosting should be removed for T1 races. Well, especially after we get the rebalance for the next season. Oh, Taco gets really slidey, goes drift, he goes full deja vu.
Anytime he was making up on Babushka there, he's just gonna have to take a few more laps now to recover.
So let's see the fastest lap. Who's the faster? Taco, Babushka, yeah, he's making up small amount of time per lap if we go for the fastest lap, what the fastest lap says. Radical just changed for a brand new set of tires, so most likely there was a wing problem for him. It looks like Gore adapted better to the situation and is now doing faster times than Hammer Time. And if you look at the interval, you can see Hammer Time was pretty close, but now he's falling back.
Unfortunately, I think my game might be
completely gone.
Well, I'm not getting the right information right now, so I'll have to do my best. But
all right,
I'm gonna have to. Worst case scenario, I'll have to reinstall it, but we will see.
So here's an interesting fact: Hammer Time has the low fuel icon lighting up, and we're just at lap 19. So what I'm guessing is that he anticipated the rain condition and put way less fuel in his car as a result. And I've seen, for example, TRL Limitless do that. So when there's a full rain race, you will start with like -2, -3 laps of fuels, because you can run on low fuel, because you can't use the full acceleration of the car until you're like in 4th gear. So you can easily run on low fuel mix and still be really competitive. So that's what I'm guessing Hammer Time is doing here. And it looks like it's working, because just in the last lap he gained half a second on Gore.
Yeah, he could also be using a bit of rich mix here and there to...
Yeah, of course, like in the straights, after you get out to the corner, when you hit the 4th gear, you're gonna start going back into the rich fuel mix. But in the slow sections, in the bendy bits, you can just stay in fuel mix 1 and really not care. Zanacius is disconnected, I think, here. He's transparent, and Figlin is following him really closely. There you go, they're almost through each other.
This is very interesting to watch, with Figlin driving with half his car inside of Zanacius right now. I do wonder if your slipstream is better if your car is inside the other one. It's going to be a tough race for these guys, but yeah, I was watching that as you were talking. I don't know what happened, but it looks like Gore made a mistake and gave up all of his time. And Hammer Time was actually within 0.2 of him at that time, but it's now settled back down.
God damn it.
Very good battle between the two of these guys. Ooh, we got a Sector 3 yellow flag. Looks like Captain is off track and has lost an end plate. I have to check in there to see what happened, but probably just lost it coming out of the corner down there through Sector 3. Zanatius is back in the pits. Well, I'm watching Figlin here. He's got 13 laps on his intermediates and 26% wear on the front and 43% on the rear. So it's probably is the time for some of these guys to be thinking about changing it. But we head up to Gore and Hammer. They both have 12 laps, and Gore, they're both about the same wear, about 30 to 35% across their tires. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, they could definitely take it, and knowing these guys, they're not going to give up. I mean, neither of them are going to pit to lose position at this point, because if the other one doesn't pit, then it's all over. So they really have to play off of each other right now and see what happens. No, but if they're not minding their throttle enough, they're definitely going to wear out the rear end a significant amount more. So it's just gonna have them get more and more loose through the corners as time goes on, and they get more wear on those rear tires. So it just really depends on the driver. And you can see more of the top drivers, like Kia's on 12 laps at 30% front and 34% rear, but we were seeing the same wear from others with 10% more rear, or 10% more wear on the rear end. So it really just depends on how they're using the throttle. And did they alter their setup knowing it was going to rain? Did they forget to check the weather and just went with their dry setup just to try and get laps too early? Because it is easy to forget. I have to remind myself every time to check the weather. Because, yes, most of the practice does happen in the dry. We try and, on some of the tracks, we try and hit a little bit of wet practice because, you know, it's going to rain some places. And we just want to be more interested in tire wear. And then also trying to see what kind of dry times we can set if it is a dry quali and a wet race, or the reverse. Now we have a wet quali and a dry race sometimes, and it just really depends. But usually just knock the wings up a little bit more downforce. And Neil is really trying to get a move done here. And have to remove the net drivers. That is a net P5. So again, this is a very good position for both of them to be in. I'm going to take a look at the current standings. In the grass, that is not going to help him. He's going to have to compose himself and keep his head down. Well, even on medium traction control, you can still lose it, especially in the wet. So you really still have to be very easy. And Krieg's is on medium tires. Interestingly enough. I know he's at the back of the field here, so maybe he's like, I got nothing else to lose, and we'll see what's happening. But, I mean, the rain has stopped falling. So... But he is 26 seconds behind the next guy, so I mean I don't really know what he's attempting to recover, but it'd be interesting to see what he does. But if they think it's time to, in the next couple laps, if it's going to be time to move on to dry tires, it's definitely a consideration the top drivers are going to have to make, because if it is time for dry tires and one of them pits for dries, the other stays out, they might lose all that time staying out on the track. Oh! And Neil has gone into the pits.
Oh my god.
You gotta get some green tea with honey over there for you. And Neil has, with his wing change, elected to go into the mediums as well. So, hammer time. Now, as he comes out of the pits, he is about 24 seconds behind Gore. So let's see if he can make up any time. But he is losing traction all through the first 5 gears. So I don't know if softs are the best call right now. Yeah, but at this point, he's now lost almost 3 seconds coming out of the pits. And so if Gore gets back around at this rate, when Gore gets in the pits, he will come out still a few seconds ahead. And Yeah, these are the qualifying tires, so they started out with about 8% wear. Oh, Gore has gone onto the softs as well, so this will be very interesting. But Hammer Time has lost almost 7 seconds on this lap. Tact overtakes him. And more interesting, if Gore is having the same issues now, if he's running slow as well, Tact is going to spend some time on him on those intermediates. But it looks like Gore is keeping himself rather composed. Hammer Time was getting very loose and not getting very much traction down. But Gore's taking it much easier, but Tact has gained a few seconds on him here so far.
We're on board with Kia. He's getting really close to Hammer Time. That's going to be a pass for sure. Yeah, oh, there you go. Hammer Time goes wide. Kia gets a position. There you go. It's done. The intermediates are still raining here. Hammer Time constantly locking up in those corners where there's trail braking. And even on the acceleration, he gets a lot of wheel spin. It's amazing how straight he keeps the car under those conditions, but he's doing it. But now he's lost 2 positions with his choice to go that early on the softs, and Gore, reacting to the situation, actually is losing 4 seconds a lap almost to Taco. So that's looking like, yeah, you can see there's still a little bit of water. You can see the spray on there. There's a yellow flag in sector 2.
It looks like there's an Alfa Romeo off.
Oh yeah.
It's probably Krieg's.
Yeah, Krieg's DNF. Let's see if there's going to be a safety car here. That would be really interesting. If there's a safety car, that's going to be amazing for Taco and Kia.
And that'll eat up 2 or 3 laps of race, and yeah, it'll come down to the last couple laps here.
Yeah, and
but the track is drying up more, and Gore has kept his distance from Tact now.
Relatively. Taco's been gaining on him. Was 4 seconds on the last lap. Now it's like 1.5 seconds on this lap. So it looks like the softs are becoming on par with the intermediates. And I think now would be time for Taco and Kia to get into those pits. But Taco goes for another lap. Let's see if Kia also goes for another lap on the intermediates. It's definitely gonna be the last lap. Maybe they want to run those intermediates to the end of the race actually, because they're still competitive.
Kia is at 50 to 60% wear on his tires right now, so he definitely has some life left in him.
Yeah.
But if the track dries up anymore and these softs start cripping up, it's going to be Gore's going to run away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see Taco. So yeah, now the softs and the intermediates are on par. Well, the old intermediates and the soft. So probably if you had more recent intermediates, you'd be better. But it looks like they are on par now, and actually even softs are starting to gain. So really, now is the time. Taco and Kia pretty much have no choice. They have to pit here, and Hammer Time is going to give him back his positions.
Yeah, I'm on board with Kia, and his tire temperatures are spiking a little bit while he's under braking and traction zones.
Yeah.
But overall, they're staying pretty cool so far. So it is a little overlap period. When Gore is coming up on the back of a McLaren.
Kia still rocking that pumpkin.
Everyone else is starting to pit in for these dry tires now, but you can still see spray coming off of the intermediates. And
Oh, does Kia? Yeah, there you go. Kia in the pits. Taco decided to go for another lap, so it's very likely that Taco is going to go to the end of the race with those tires. There's still 3 laps left to go and only 5 seconds, so I think that's a good decision from Taco. And Kia is going to be losing the position to Hammer Time. There you go. Hammer Time is back on the podium. There's a big gap between Kia and Babushka, however, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for Kia. But he's now on the softs, and those tires are definitely the fastest choice right now.
Oh, he will keep his 4th position currently. Oh, and he is sideways out of turn 1 and gets some major wing damage.
Kia? Oh, it looks like he only lost an end plate.
That's significant, especially right now. It's not what he needs at all.
That's very true. So yeah, we have someone asking why Kia is pitting right now. So yeah, definitely. You can see Taco is losing time on W Gore, but he's still not under threat from Hammer Time. Hammer Time is definitely gaining, but is he gonna be able to do it in 3 laps? I doubt it. I think Taco is gonna be good for a second.
Tact has lost about 5 seconds to Gore now. So it's definitely possible for Hammer Time to...
Oh, Taco goes in the pits!
Back. Oh no.
Oh no! That's a very poor decision. He's definitely going to be losing the position, and Hammer Time is going to go back into second. Hammer Time's decision to pit early and get those softs ended up paying because Taco and Kia both made a really poor decision to go back on the soft at the end. They were not under any threat with those intermediates. They could have done the last 2 laps. Oh no, and everyone on the chat is wondering, why did you do that? That was so unfortunate. Oh no.
Well, the intermediates are starting to warm up here as the track dries off, so...
But still...
Now is not the time. Had they pitted at the same time the others did...
That would have made more sense, right?
Yes.
Oh no, 2 laps left and they just lost the positions doing that. Well, at least Taco didn't lose the position on Kia, so that's good for him.
Yeah, but had Kia not spun out in turn 1, I'm sure that we might be it might be a different story, but
wow,
it is what it is.
This is so unfortunate. I can't believe this happened. We're gonna have to ask them. We're gonna have to interview Kia and Taco and ask them what drove their decision to get on those softs. Oh. So, W. Gore has set the fastest lap 27.9.
For the fastest lap, he maintained lead most of the race, and then even when Hammer did overtake him here or there, or got close, he still held him off. And I think he drove a cleaner race.
Yeah, he did manage to maintain that position the whole time, so... Definitely, like the only time he lost, I think, is when he pitted, where he lost a couple positions but gained them back. Oh, again setting a fastest lap 26.5 now, almost 1 second up.
And from what I'm seeing in the race director, I do not see a single warning at all for Gore this race. But he has drove a very clean, very consistent race. And we tacked with the fastest lap now at 1:24.3. right at the end. I mean, that's to be expected, though. But Gore is still on his final lap, so I don't know.
It's really good, 24-3. That's actually incredible. Whoa, did Figlin just overtake Babushka?
No.
Oh yeah, he did. Babushka is on intermediates?
Oh, he did. Yes, you are correct. Sorry.
Incredible. That's... Oh, so... Okay, so that's interesting. We do have a situation where someone stayed on the intermediates. What was it that bad of a decision after all to go on the softs and pit that late? Because it's you can see like Figlin is actually making a couple seconds a lap, like not even a lap, like a per sector making a couple seconds onto Babushka. Oh, he passed him a few laps ago, so got that from Chipsy. But you can see though.
I believe Figlin actually passed Captain, if I'm correct, because Captain is a lap down. So I think that's who he was.
Oh, that's what would happen. That makes sense.
So Gore and Hammer have taken the checkered flag. Tact is crossing now.
Oh. Oops, I forgot to watch that. Kia's coming in. There was a Pfeiffer doing the roundabouties here. Oh no, that's hammer time. Boom. Rear-ended hammer time. Figlin passes. Oh, actually does the fastest lap at the end. Just steal that from W. Gore by 7 tenths. So, okay. I'm gonna say, first of all, Mr. Jesus deserves driver of the day. That's an incredible charge through the field that he did. Was able to go up 10 positions. He started last and he ended up 7th, which gives him a net position of 5th. So that's incredible. So Mr. Jesus definitely driver of the day on here. But second, those intermediate tires. You could see that. Who was it? Oh, I can't see. I don't remember the names, but you could see that one person on the softs was gaining like 2-3 seconds per sector on the other person who had the intermediates. So we were questioning the change of tire from Kia and Taco. But it looks like it was a good decision for them in the end.
Well, they had to go on the softs, but I think they just did it too late.
Yeah.
Especially, and it's hard to say because the track was still wet at the end there, and they did well. But yeah. I mean, look at that. What, Mr. Jesus? 10 positions, no penalties. And I might have to agree with you there on driver of the day with only one stop.
Incredible. This is just really good driving.
Not the fastest, just very consistent and together. And even though we had even though Gore was just incredibly fast all race, but I mean, you start out in front and you stay out in front, so that's to be expected, I guess. But
so we have Gore in pole position, Hammer Time in second, and Taco in third. They all went with the exact same strategy of wets, intermediates, and then softs. And while they didn't pit at the same time, they were pretty close to each other. And I mean, that's really good. So let's see how this is going to affect the standings. So we have on the screen here the standings from the last race after Belgium. We have Tact, who is first in the standings, and Kia second. But it looks like... Oh, so right, so Gore and Hammer Time are not on those standings because they are filling. So that means Tact and Kia actually will get all the points and will just keep extending their lead on Borat and Figlin.
Correct, they will stay far out in front. And with Borat DNFing, he's going to lose a lot of positions. And Figlin also picked up the fastest lap along with... I don't remember exactly where he finished right now, but he will definitely gain a lot of points and will overtake Borat for third position for the drivers. And then, of course, you have under that Van and Zen are still 30 points away. So there's going to be probably a little bit of movement happening in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
But Figlin will now take third position for the championship.
that's awesome. So it's funny because even the chat is now agreeing that in the end, that switch to softs, like at the time that they did it, it looked like a really bad idea. But now everyone seems to be agreeing that it wasn't such a bad idea. And actually, like you said, they really should have switched earlier to
Probably a lap earlier at that point. I don't think maybe as early as Hammer time did. I think Hammer was hoping that the track was going to dry out faster than it did.
yeah.
But we will have to ask him about that.
All right. Do you want to go get Gore?
I will.
All right. So Gore is driving as a reserve. He got approved a couple races ago before the holidays and has been proving since then that he is well within the pace of Tier 1 and actually been really good and consistent. So, hi Gore.
Hello.
Congratulations about your win.
Thank you.
And I mean, you were really consistent and you kept that first position basically the whole race.
I think I had a moment. Last turn where the car was a little sideways when I was about to brake, so I just went off on the run off, let Hammer by, and his setup. We were kind of talking through it, and he was running a really high ride height, which helped him through the corners, but just punished him on the straight. So I was hoping I'd get him back. We had pretty good wheel to wheel, and then I just squeezed through, and Then he had to go for the undercut there on the softs, and he went probably 3 laps too early. I went 2 laps too early, but had enough of a time buffer to survive. So
Yeah, you had to have been thinking once he went onto the softs. I mean, you have to respond at that point, or do you think that maybe you have pace?
I think I wasn't sure how long the Hungary one was, and I saw he hadn't crossed the third sector line as I was going into the pit. So as far as I knew, he was 25 seconds behind me, and so I didn't want to take that risk of him possibly getting that second and getting in front of me because it's just not worth the risk. So I decided to go for it. And then as soon as I entered the pits, he crossed the third sector line at 30 seconds. So had that happened before I went into the pits, I would have stayed out, but I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, he had, and I agree. I think he went on softs a little bit too early because he had lost about 7-8 seconds on you on that whole lap. He was having a lot of trouble keeping traction down, and
Yeah.
But once you got on the softs, I mean, you definitely were taking it easy and
yeah, they were. After I was just watching him slide all over the place, get overtaken. So as soon as I went out of him, I just threw it on, leaning low, and just didn't want to take any risks.
Yeah, clean race. Not a single warning, obviously. So no penalties there as well. So that's pretty good, especially this track where it kind of invites you to cut some corners here or there, or even there's so much runoff going through some of those turns. So
Yeah,
pretty
sure.
impressive. Unfortunately, you get your fastest lap taken from Tact right towards the end, and then Figlin took that away right on the last lap.
Yeah,
so.
no, I went for it on the penultimate lap, and then I just coasted the last lap. They did. I mean, those were some fast laps too. I don't even know if I could have done that. Anyways, so good laps from them. It was a great race in general.
Good pole, good race. Unfortunately, it doesn't count for points for you here, but as I was talking about during the race for next season, for the more competitive tiers we're having, hopefully we'll see a lot of more exciting racing from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hammer was right there with me. Unfortunately, just made a couple mistakes, but pace-wise, he was right there, if not faster than me. So, yeah, good race to him, too.
Yeah, it looks like Hammer was a little bit faster on general pace, but was doing a little bit more mistakes than you. So you won on consistency here, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just on the straight, too, I mean, I was gaining 3 to 4 tenths on the one straight alone. So,
yeah,
as far as setup goes, I mean, there wasn't much he could do because, it just wasn't paying off enough in the corners. But other than that, he drove phenomenally. So it was a lot of fun.
Did you make any setup changes for qualifying based on the fact that you saw the rain was coming?
Yeah, that was about. I upped both my arrows, so I was running a 610, and then I did my ride height from 2.2 to 6.6 just to give me a little bit more balance, and he did his ride height 9'11" or 9'10". So
Oof.
yeah, he
That's
might have
high.
overdone it a bit. Yeah. So I
It
think I
worked
won
out
it on
though.
the straights there. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye bye. All right.
All right.
So second
Now we'll
position
go-
was Hammer Time. He's still online, so we can talk to him. Hammer Time, another filler, another another reserve who's proving himself to be quite a challenge. And yeah, really interesting races coming. Like we said a little bit earlier, a little bit lacking on consistency when compared to W Gore, but the pace is definitely there.
Hola.
So hi, Hammer Time. Congratulations on your second position. How does it feel?
Disappointing.
Disappointing.
Try, I would have won, but that ifs, ands, or buts doesn't count.
I
don't
think
know.
he did
At
a
the
really awesome job, actually. And I mean, W Gore is not an easy opponent to beat.
yeah, no, he definitely drove well. That's why I pit on like lap 28 or whatever for softs. Like I had nothing to lose. He didn't have any penalties. I had a 3-second and I was 2 warnings
Ooh.
already, and I was like, well, let's just send it, throw on some softs, and see if I can make a miracle happen. And it didn't. So
I see. So, well, not only did he not have penalties, he didn't even have any warnings. So,
oh yeah, he was doing good. Like I was struggling for a bit there. I totally butchered my setup to like make it not terrible in the rain, and like it felt fine, but it was just tough, like following and learning all the breaking points and kind of everything that I needed to do for the first part of the race. So it was a
yeah.
bit sloppy.
Hey, you were having a hell of a time putting traction down there on that first lap after you put the softs on, and you lost about 7 or 8 seconds to him at that point.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. I was regretting life. I was just like, oh god, why did I do this?
Well,
I take it back.
you know, it almost cost you even more than that because you had Kia and Taco, who were both staying on the intermediates much longer. And actually, I think that if they stayed on the intermediates until the end of the race, they could have fended you off and kept you in fourth position. So the fact that towards the last 2 laps they changed for the softs, I think that kind of saved you.
Maybe after penalties, because like they were still doing in the 30s, and like towards the end, like it was like 28, 27, 26, and so
Yeah.
they like the gap. Well, maybe one of them was further ahead, but the other guy was only 5 seconds ahead, and the other one I think was around 10. So it would have been close, depending on
Yeah.
if they had penalties or not. Who knows? But
It would have been an
uh,
interesting end of the race if they stayed on intermediates, that's for sure.
mhm.
Yeah. But
No,
yeah.
I was stoked. I was ready to go. My setup was like absolutely money in the dry, and this happened. So
Well,
it's all right. Another time, hopefully. So
I think you still did good, second position, and like your fights against Gore, you're trying to chase him and everything. I think you had the pace. We think you had the pace over him, but he was a little bit more consistent than you, and that's really where he lost out. And is when all those little mistakes that piled up, like those 2 tenths lost, when you were actually gaining 2 tenths per lap on him if you didn't make mistakes. So yeah.
It does get
So-
difficult because I can imagine that, being close to him and trying to make it through some of there, you had to have been experiencing a bit of traction issues with dirt.
he definitely beat me and deserved to win. Like I just didn't have line, and I haven't practiced much in the rain without it. So like the entire first half of the race is just figuring out where to break. Like I went so deep because I had a really good start out at the beginning of the race, and then turn 2, like I just went straight, and that like opened the door for I think it was Babushka and Gore to just go right back through me. So I just suck in the rain. It's my fault. I need to get better. So
Yeah, it's tough. Well, it was a good race regardless.
yeah,
Congratulations.
little sweaty. Gotta love it. I'm gonna hop out. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Good job.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and third position, I believe, was Taco. Was it Taco or Kia? I always have. trouble. I always have trouble finding. All right, Kia.
Hello.
And Kia and Taco. So we got both.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Team Red Bull.
I asked Team Red Bull to come in because they were right on each other the entire race, and
Really? I didn't
besides,
see Kia in my rearview mirrors at all. It was too far.
Oh,
well, position wise, but
Shots
more
fired.
importantly, towards the end of the race, deciding when to make the call to go on to
Yeah.
the softs.
Yeah, I got a little nervous, not gonna lie, when Kia switched to sauce before I did. But then it ended up being
Alright.
okay.
Okay, let's just remove a bit of the mystery around this. We talk about pit strategy a lot. We make our decisions
I
like
have no idea what you're talking about.
we make our decisions not like together, but like with the interest of the other driver in mind.
Yeah.
In the first case for inters, if we had pit for inters from the wets on the same lap, I would have been held up. Tack was the lead car. I let him go. And then I pit the next lap. For softs, I said, okay, I'm pitting for softs this lap. And then our Jeffs both told us, like, okay, it's time to pit. And then Tack gracefully let me pit first because I called it.
And yeah, because Hammer had actually pitted on the softs. I think a couple laps before. At that point, he was losing so much time.
Yeah,
And I think when you guys pitted, maybe a lap earlier might have been better. But I think had you not spun out there on the first corner coming out of the pits, you probably would have been a lot better off.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't warm up my tires enough, put a bit too much throttle on, damaged my wing, and I paid for it. But yeah, no, like even I told Tack, even if it was gonna come to a point where I was catching him on the softs because I went in a lap early, I wouldn't pass him because I just got the better strategy, right? Like he won the race, he drove really well, he managed the gap to me. The only way I could put time into him was by using like all of my energy and all of my fuel. So I mean, like standings wise, he won, and he deserved it.
I'd have to go back and check when it happened, but Hammer Time did have a total of 11-second penalties. Now, he did get at least one, possibly two of those during that first lap he had in the softs because he was all over the place. Were you aware he had that penalty at the time?
Yes and no. I could only look very briefly at my stuff because it's on a second monitor, and like Hungary, it has one straight, and most of the time I was just changing music because I forgot to put it on a playlist, so I'd pick up my phone and just tap a song. But no, like I saw that he had something in the penalties column of my timing table. I wasn't sure what it was.
Do you think the two of you could have held him off in fourth position if you had stayed on the intermediates?
No. I think there was too big of a risk of puncture that we didn't want to take.
You were still sitting about 50 or 60% on your tires around that time, so I think you had 5 laps left at that point.
Yeah, I was very nervous about getting a puncture at the end of the race. And
Yeah.
once Kia pit, I'm like, okay, I have nothing to lose by pitting, so I'm just gonna play safe.
So
Yeah, I was monitoring my tire wear. I had 4% a lap. I could do like a simulation thing, and my data told me I could make it basically till lap 31, and then I was in puncture area. So I was praying for the softs, and I was like, as the track heats up, you wear more. So I like Mr. Jesus finished on inters. He was at 88%. Like that is too high of a risk for puncture for me. One wrong like corner exit, and you're dead.
yeah, just get your tires a little bit too heated, and then you're just gone.
Yeah, I was on lean for like the last 3 or 4 laps of my stint because I didn't want to kill them.
Well,
That
since
was a good race though. The safety car at the beginning too. That was I had no idea where that came from.
Oh yeah, what incident triggered the safety car? Was it just weather?
We couldn't figure out.
We couldn't figure anything out. I hopped in the main channel to ask. No one had. I mean, there might have been an issue between Figlin and Zen that might have slowed people up. That might have triggered it, but there wasn't a major collision or anything. So we're a little stumped on that one.
Yeah, I can describe to you what happened turn 1 with Fig and Zen and I. Fig got on his brakes maybe a bit too late, and he shot past me. We were going 3 wide into turn 1. It was Zen on the outside, me in the middle, and then Fig. I braked early because I didn't want to, fuck anyone else up. And then Fig just shot past me, and he hit into Zen, and he came back and hit me. And then I think a couple of people had to overtake us off track, and that brought out penalties for them plus yellow flags. And when there's, as we've done in testing, when there's like 3 or 4 cars stationary on track, it tends to trigger, right? But it wasn't instantaneous, so
That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, it did just it seemingly came out of nowhere because as soon as I saw it and we checked, it was like everyone was just driving along. But then after the safety car came out, we had a lot of people having issues with running into each other as well.
Oh yeah, I actually got a pass off under Fig, or on Fig under the safety, because he was going too slowly, and so it allowed me to pass him, and I took the position. At least that's what I think happened, because it was like catch safety car queue, and then he was going slowly. I ended up like braking hard to try to avoid him. Ended up beside him, but slightly in front, and then it said stay behind Zen, and I didn't want to give him his position back, because Tack pointed out it would give him a penalty if he passed me under safety car.
Yeah.
So,
well, whatever you guys did worked out. You netted, obviously, after we take the reserves out, P1 and 2, so you definitely pull ahead in the championship.
Red Bull 1-2.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, our constructors were like 144 points ahead.
Yeah.
Right now.
So, I mean, the only thing we're racing for at the moment is the championship, and I gotta say, I'm a bit disappointed by again finishing behind Tack, especially considering he wasn't supposed to be here. But but no, it'll make for an interesting race. Last race, especially if we keep the results up for Spain. I don't know what the last track is. I completely forget, but it'll end up being a situation where it's like Tack has to be, below me by X amount of points, and I have to be like this position or something. And fucking too much math. I'll get someone else to do it for me.
It's been 4 races since you didn't have a Red Bull 1-2. You were always 1-3 or 2-6. So
yep.
It's
I mean,
Bahrain is the last race.
Yeah. No, Russia was the last one too.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate
All right, guys.
it.
Good job.
Good job on the 1-2.
Thank you.
All right, so now it's gonna be driver of the daytime, Mr. Jesus, making a huge comeback after a few races where it didn't really go his way, but now he's proven that he's still got what it takes to get a good result. Hi, Mr. Jesus. How do you feel about being driver of the day?
I feel great. I feel vindicated.
Vindicated. That's a good choice of word.
Not having too good a races the last couple of races, and then coming into Hungary and doing a really good job.
I mean, that's a net 5th position for you, so I don't know. I don't know if you realize that there's 2 reserve in front of you. So, you gained 2 more positions on that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I looked at that and I looked at the points, and I'm like, that's going to put me, I think, 10th in the driver's standing, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, actually, we got the updated
provisional standings. You are now up, in the 10th.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so 1 stop, pushing those intermediates to their limit there at the end.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that the weather would change to dries earlier, but they only went dry 6 laps before finish, so I knew I had to last on the inters, and they were already at 70-something%. I finished the race with my inters at 88%, so they could have popped that.
Well, you're lucky it didn't happen, and coming from the back of the grid all the way up to 7th, but netting a 5th position in points.
So I just want to say
4th position. I apologize.
Just in the middle of the interview like that, I just updated the standings on the stream. So what you're saying is up to date after this race, and we can see that Mr. Jesus did get a good 12 points, which actually puts him in front of Zeke. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to talk about your consistency? How you made very little mistakes. It was pretty impressive seeing you go.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I was constantly thinking about the wet weather, so I was doing my best to brake early and not slide. So I was just approaching it very cautiously because I knew Hungary is kind of a harder track to pass on. So I figured if I just kept with few mistakes, I could outrace the driver behind me. And that's kind of what happened. I mean, I think you saw on the stream a couple times I was being followed pretty close, but at the end I didn't make that many mistakes, so I kind of stayed in front.
Yeah. So really taking to heart the saying, to finish first, you first got to finish. So really driving carefully and making sure you make no mistakes. You're going to be a little bit slower, but at least you're going to be able to capitalize on other drivers trying to push too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when I saw that Figlin was having difficulty passing me, because he's one of the best drivers in this league, like, bar none. And that felt pretty good to stay in front of him that whole time, even though it took, he eventually passed me, but I think it was 10 laps he couldn't pass me for, or something like that. So
yeah,
that felt pretty good.
It looked like he was pushing really hard, and eventually just got away from him, and it all worked out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, in earlier races, I would let people like him by, like Kia, because they're just outpacing me. But I felt with the way that the weather was and the track evolution was that I could stay in front of them, and I did for as long as I could, at least.
All right, so Mr. Jesus, you've got a good job from Anchorage03, who is also a new subscriber to our channel. So you've got a good job from one of the viewers. Well done.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
And I mean, you have a good job from us too. Incredible driving, very sturdy, very tight, and just keep your head down, get those laps in, and just like that, driver of the day, 10 positions made up during the race. It's just very well done.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, and also not just that, but also after all those races where you had trouble, just being able to get your cool back and get that kind of performance in after all those I want to say disappointments, because I'm sure that's how you felt, but being able to keep your cool and just get your composure back and get that kind of results in, it's really incredible and inspiring. So good job.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully I inspire the next the next Formula One driver. There you go.
Like they say, rule number 1 of Formula One: never give up.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's going to conclude the interview. Thank you, Mr. Jesus. Good job. And it's time for the outro, I guess. So, oh, sorry about that. So we have the next race coming on Sunday. We already voted Tier 2 schedule. Let's see. That's going to be Germany. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. on Sunday. And remember, Tier 2 races are always chaotic, so you really don't want to miss that one. And the next Tier 1 race is going to be in Spain on January 15th. Oh, wait, what? Hungary was supposed to be
we
we
scheduled to the right, so
yeah, we skipped a week.
It'll be next Wednesday.
So Spain on January 22nd for Tier 1. I think we might also have some new reserve drivers then. I'll have to check with the FIA for that, but I think we might get some new approved drivers.
We got a few new we got I think 1 or 2 full-time drivers for Tier 2 now, and we might have a couple of guys driving in reserves here. But
we have a lot of fast boys in Tier 2, so it's really gonna bring some more challenge in the Tier 1. And yeah,
I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah,
next season rather.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So I don't know the details that much. You seem to know more than me. So do you want to explain what's going to happen in terms of the divisions for the next season?
So right now, with the Tier 1 and Tier 2, because the league has grown recently, Tier 1 is kind of locked in for the time being, with a few of us from Tier 2 taking some reserve spots, but Tier 2 is growing now. But we do have a mix of some people that can't drive so much full-time in Tier 1, and those of us that can in Tier 2. So we're going to be reorganizing for next season So we were going to go into I believe what we're calling the competitive and the casual tiers. The competitive tiers, for those that are for sure going to show up at least to most of the races. I know myself, I will be there for every single one, but the competitive tier drivers will be excluded from racing in the casual league. Now, we as
And
the
vice
teams,
versa, right?
No, this is
No?
what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Us as the competitive teams. So most of us have pretty much decided on our teammates, and at least I know a lot of us have. We will be able to pick from the tier 2 drivers if someone wants to be a reserve driver for us in the event that we can't make it. So the points will count towards the constructor, but they will not count. They won't count towards the driver championships. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then the way that we're selecting it is I'm still a little fuzzy on that, but that's more or less how it's going to lay out next year. So we should be basically moving most of the more competitive and
the fast boys.
The faster of us into the competitive division. So we should see more exciting racing there. And then I don't even know what's going to happen in the casual division, but I'll probably be here to comment on that. So
okay. So for me personally, I'm in tier 2 right now, and I think I'm gonna stay in the casual side and keep commentating on the tier 1 races, on the competitive ones. I know you intend to be in the competitive side, so as much as I like commentating with you on my side, I'm gonna have to be sad and commentate and find someone else.
No, I enjoy it with you as well, of course. But it is what it is, and that's another thing that we're gonna have to look at is who's actually gonna be able to do the commentating for each one. There's a few of us in tier 1 that actually do commentating, or a few of the guys in tier 1 that do the commentating. So
yep.
Maybe we can have 2 or 3 guy teams for that. So we'll see.
We do have more commentators in T1 and the competitive side than we have in T2. So it's a little bit harder for us to find someone for T1, unfortunately.
Yeah, and since we won't be able to drive in the casual division, then we'll be freed up to do that.
Yeah, just have 5 commentators. Like, there's so much action, you're going to need it anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll put someone down in the pits, and we'll put someone trackside, maybe in the grandstands.
Yeah. All right.
If only the game let us have more than 2 extra spots, but
I know, right? Yeah. We've been trying to find we've been trying to find a solution for that, and we've even talked about having 1 spectator, and then that spectator streams to the commentators so that we can have more of them. And I mean, for events where you have several leagues who want to have their own commentators, that makes sense. But for us, it kind of doesn't. So we're stuck with the limitations of the game, and it's really the commentating side, the interface for the game and everything. It's really not esports ready, and this is kind of what we're doing right now. This basically esports is just a more casual league, but still.
Yeah, and our league is growing, and hopefully we'll gain a lot more drivers, next season as well, and. Yep. We'll have to move from there and see what happens.
Which, by the way, guys, we are still open for sign-ups. So we still have some room left in the tier 2 or in the reserve drivers. And since next season is starting really soon, we have 2 races left to go. And after that, it's the new season with the new format and the new way to separate the tier 1 and tier 2, which is going to be casual and competitive, like we've already explained. We're gonna have room for those reserve drivers that we need in T1. So sign up is up. We have a link in the Twitch somewhere, I think below the video, and you just follow that link. You get to the website, you fill out a little formulaire. Well, that was Fringlish, but you fill out a form. You fill out a form and just let us know a little bit about yourself, and it's easy as that. We pretty much accept everyone, so be cool. Come with us, and we have spots.
Yep, globalspecracing.com.
Right. I think the slash said slash sign up or something.
/sign up, I believe. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find this real quick. Maybe not. Anyway, so it should be somewhere in the Twitch information. So if you can't find it, type a message in the chat and we'll dig a little bit deeper to get the exact link.
Bacon, I just got a message here. Yes, globalspecracing.com/community.
Oh, /. Okay. All right.
Yes, we're doing F1, but we're also going to be starting possibly as we acquire drivers an Assetto Corsa Competizione league as well in the near future. And we do have some not official leagues, but we also do some Dirt Rally 2 weekly events. That's more just for fun. And a lot of us, definitely play a lot of other stuff as well.
Wreckfest.
We do a weeknight or weekly Saturday night Wreckfest too, which is a load of fun.
And very often on Fridays as well.
Yep, and we've been getting into some Project Cars 2 stuff as well. I really enjoyed it when we did the karting before, and hopefully we can do that again because that was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, the karting. I'm so sad I missed it because I was ill. I really wanted to get that one.
Oh, it was a riot, man.
Yeah. I think I saw a couple of clips where people really got into each other.
It's good fun. I mean, it's not an official sort of league thing, but just little mini events every once in a while.
Yeah. So yeah, that's GSR, guys. Open. We have positions open, but even if you're not racing in the main F1 league, we still have something for people who want to just get some casual stuff going, like in all those other games. So really, like, we have room for everyone. So just don't hesitate, come apply.
globalspecracing.com/community. Follow the directions there, and hope to see some of you.
All right. So see you guys next Sunday. This has been Cookie.
I'm Righteous Fire.
Thank you for watching, and have a good night.
Take care.